Hello, I'm the Arch Gamer, and I thank you for watching. Recently I've been replaying some of my old games from years ago, and while playing them I had a thought come to mind. Where'd all the great games go? I'm not talking about graphics. Graphics are fine. I mean, even back in the days when all we had were the NES, graphics for that time were okay. I'm not talking about frame rates either. I think 30 frames per second is just as playable as 60 frames per second, even though some of you diehards will probably disagree with me. But rather, I'm talking about the immersive storylines that we used to get in just about every game. I mean, for the first few years after the recovery from the game crash, we got games. Good games. We had Mario, we had Mega Man, we had Pac-Man, we had Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy was one of the first JRPGs that we got here in America. And personally, I still feel it is one of my favorites. That and the Shin Megami Tensei series. But really, nowadays, game companies just continually emphasize the latest and greatest graphics. Oh, this is in 1080p, this is in Full HD, this is in 4K. And to me, it shouldn't be about the graphics, it should be about the game itself. How well does it play? What kind of story does it offer, and how enjoyable is it? Stories, I want stories again. Stories that make you feel like you're part of the actual world that you're playing in. Granted, we still have a few franchises that continue to strive to do that. Final Fantasy, even though they've been changing the formula over the last several years, ever since they came out with 11, and Kingdom Hearts, which, well, I mean, it had its hiccups. I mean, when we saw Chain of Memories, it was weird at first. And even Fallout. I mean, I play Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas just about every other day. Haven't been able to play Fallout 4 because I don't have the proper system for it yet. But you don't see a lot of good video games anymore that actually have a good storyline to them. You see games that are just like every other game out there. You see tons of Call of Duty clones. I mean, just about everyone out there makes fun of Call of Duty nowadays, unless you're a Call of Duty fan, and then you make fun of the people who make fun of it. And then you've got plenty of platformers. I mean, I'm still fond of the Mario series, but there's others. Heck, even Pokemon. I still play Pokemon quite a lot, though. I mean, when they came out with the re-release of Ruby and Sapphire, I was thrilled, because that was the first set of Game Boy Advance games I ever got, was Ruby and Sapphire, and then Emerald. And those games, I wouldn't trade those for the world. But, and then you have projects like Steam Greenlight, which just allows anyone with a computer and a couple lines of code to make a Mario clone, or a Final Fantasy clone, or whatever. And yeah, you've got a few good indie games out there. The Avion series comes to mind. I played the Darkthrop Prophecy quite a bit. But then you've got just, I don't know who came up with Flappy Bird, but they need to die. we don't even see first-party developers having very good quality control anymore, where you don't have a flop game. And in fact, this is what originally led to the first game crash all those years ago, and having that horrendously huge graveyard full of ET cartridges. And if we don't wise up and improve our quality control and improve the way that we make games, this is going to happen again, and we're going to see another game crash. And Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox won't be able to save us this time, because they're contributing to it by allowing third-party developers to post to their stores with very minimal checks and balances to make sure that they're making an actually good game. Granted, we've got plenty of gems, even on the new consoles. Although the Wii U, yeah, they're coming to save your ass. Well, they were, but now the Wii U's dying too. Yeah. Whatever their next console's going to be, I hope it's awesome. Especially from Nintendo and Sony. Now, I've never been a big fan of Xbox anyway. Just, I could never get really the hang of it. I had an original Xbox for a while, but never really worked for me. But I just hope that with this video, you get to thinking about the classic quality of video games that we used to have, where just about every story in a video game was pretty good, at least, if not exceptional. I mean, I want Final Fantasy style stories again, and not the new Final Fantasy. I want Final Fantasy 7 and 8 and 9 storylines again, gameplay back. But with the way that the market is going, everyone wants less story and more action. And unless people change and let their voice be heard so that they can get the games they want, we're going to see a lot less games that actually have a story to them, and more games that are just like, oh well, jump in and play. It doesn't matter if there's a story. Right? Anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Where can the game companies improve? Where can I improve as I make my voice heard? If you like my video, leave me a comment, or not. Just, whatever you feel like. I am the Arch Gamer, and I look forward to hearing your opinion.